Hey friends, happy Wednesday morning. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Just wanted to share something that was on my heart this morning, something that I hope blesses you as much as it did me. In my Bible study this morning, I was in 2 Corinthians 6, verses 3 through 10. Highly encourage you to read it. These are absolute gems. But Paul is talking about some of the hardships that they faced, and he's defending the ministry because the Corinthians were doubting him and his motives and all these other things. And I love this because, once again, I'm paraphrasing. Paul starts off and he tells him, he said, hey, listen, we didn't put any stumbling blocks in your way to discredit our ministry. He said, we showed great endurance in our trials and our hardships and our distresses. And he goes on to describe some of those trials, hardships, and distresses. And let me tell you what, with Paul, this is not a complete list, because Paul went through anything than the most of us could even endure. Riots, imprisonments, beatings, just so many things. One time he was beat so badly that they threw him out of the city and left him for dead, but he came back in. That is just so Paul. But what Paul was saying here, he was saying, listen, our motives are pure. Look at what we've gone through. We showed great endurance, and this is this patience that would come upon a person. That it wasn't just sitting back and folding your hands and waiting for it to pass. It was showing faith while going through it. It was a great pressing, great hardships, great trials, even in prison, because most people that underwent what Paul went through would have folded in the cards. They would have said, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm not following God. But Paul was like, listen, you know what, a person who doubted God, who doubted God's promises and his faithfulness and everything else, would they go through what I'm going through? And he was showing, this is why our ministry is pure. You can count on it. We are willing to die for what we stand for. We're willing to die for this ministry of reconciliation. We're willing to die to share the gospel, to bring others, to reconcile people back to God, because we know that we will inherit heaven. Because Paul had said in the previous verses or the previous chapters, keep your eyes on what is unseen, not on what is seen. And he said that these light and momentary troubles are achieving for us a glory. He said, keep your eyes on what is unseen, because we are going to inherit something great, something valuable, something greater than you could ever think of or even imagine. And that's why our ministry is true, because we're willing to go through all this. No one would go through this if they didn't believe in something the way that Paul did. And this is why, as believers, we need to show the same great endurance when we go through trials and troubles and distresses. Let me tell you what, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It is so easy to follow God when you're standing on the podium, when you're winning races and life is good, when you got a lot of money in the bank, your health is good, your children are behaving themselves, you got a great spouse, you got a great house. But what happens when it's not? What happens when there's a death? What happens when there's a sickness? What happens when your great children, they turn into the prodigal child? Then what do you do? This is what Paul was saying. We show this great endurance so that the lost will know that our motives are pure, that we're not just following God because he's good to us. We're not just, which he's always good, even in our trials and troubles, because he works them for our good and he makes us stronger. But we're showing that we follow God no matter what, because we are looking on what is unseen, not as what's seen. We have our eyes on the finish line because we know one day we will spend eternity with Jesus Christ. And this is how, more than anything else, more than our words, more than our message, we show it with our lives, that God is worthy of everything. He is worthy of following in the toughest of trials and the worst of distresses. God is always worthy of following, because we are keeping our eyes on the finish line. We are looking on what is unseen. We are looking at what we're going to inherit in heaven, and that's for eternity. And I love this because in the very last verse, Paul says, talking about what is keeping our eyes on what is seen, he says that the world looks at us and they think that we possess nothing, but in all reality, we possess everything. We have everything. We have more riches than they could ever think of or even imagine, because we have a relationship with Jesus Christ in this world, and that relationship will continue in the next one. So guys, I really, really hope that blesses you, and I hope it inspires you to stand 10 toes to the ground, that when the troubles come, and they will come to every believer, that you show your faith by the love that you continue to have for Jesus Christ, and you stay faithful to him. So guys, once again, I really, really hope that blesses you. I'm going to finish up my run, get off to the best job ever. It's going to be a great day.